Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. One I've actually been promising for some time now, which is a video of my Coltrane collection. I've been promising them for a couple of weeks now, so I thought, hey, got a quick moment this afternoon, so let me go ahead and share that with you. I have a number of things here, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about each one. This is really more kind of one just to show what I have Coltrane wise, and then as we kind of go further along, I'll do probably some videos as we go down the line, getting more specific about specific albums. But I will at least kind of point out some of my favorites and kind of tell you, kind of explain why and all that good stuff. So let's start off with, actually I'll do the cassettes since I only have 3 cassettes. I'm always looking for more of those. So you have John Coltrane, Blue Train. Right there. Let's see. Oh, this is Ballads. And then the Gold Collection. So that's all I have as far as cassettes. I don't stumble across a lot of Coltrane cassettes that much. I got those at a Goodwill some time ago. But I'm always looking for more, so with a lot of the stuff, if there's any Coltrane that you have, CDs, cassettes, or vinyl that you don't see in my collection here, that you have for sale or trade or anything like that, please let me know because I'm always looking to continue to build. Let's do the vinyl first, and I'll do the CDs. So we'll start here with Coltrane Prestige. I believe it's from 1957. And most of the earlier years with Coltrane is more of his what I like to call traditional jazz, Stakar. And then you have Soul Train. Here's Training In. This is with a Red Garland Trio. Another very nice piece. This is one that took a little while to grow on me, but I definitely started to like this one a lot more, which is Kenny Burrell and John Coltrane. Then you have Train's Reign. This is from 1958, I believe. This is more Coltrane here, Tanganyika Strut from 1958. And this is one of the first Coltrane albums that I ever heard / liked. This is Duke Ellington and John Coltrane. Definitely has one of my top 10 songs by him, which is In a Sentimental Mood. I first heard that song on The Cosby Show many years ago, and long before I was into jazz or knew anything about Coltrane, even knew it was Coltrane, that was just something that rang very nice in my ear. For those of you who don't remember, it was that scene towards the end of one of the Cosby shows where they were on the couch and Cliff was trying to do this whole romantic thing, and they were cutting up the apple and Claire shoved the whole big half in his mouth. I don't know if that rings a bell or not, but this is the album that he put on in the background, which is the song In a Sentimental Mood. So probably the first Coltrane song I ever liked. Next here we have, of course, the classic. This is Blue Train. This is that recent reissue with the mono and stereo copy. It's definitely one of his more classic albums. This is the one that seems to be the album that most people like with Coltrane, just in general. Even if they're not Coltrane fans, most tend to like this album. And this is My Favorite Things. Very, very easy album to listen to. Depending on whether you're someone who likes more traditional jazz or free jazz, everything in between. This tends to be, like I said, the one that most people all agree on is a good album. And here's Coltrane Jazz. And then you have Giant Steps. This is definitely a classic too, but not one of my favorites by him. It's I just, as big as an album as it was for him, it's by far not one of my favorite albums by him. Good album, but definitely not one of my favorites by him. And then here's Lush Life. Again, a little more of his kind of traditional stuff there. And then this is what's playing in the background, actually. Old Coltrane, I should say. Very, very good album. But that's what you hear playing there. Then you just have Coltrane here. Now we're starting to get into the Impulse years, which are actually more of my favorite years of Coltrane. Like Coltrane Live at Birdland. And then you have, here's Ballads on Vinyl. Showed the cassette earlier. Then you have Impressions. This is definitely a very good album as well. And when you start to get into the Impulse years, that's kind of the time frame when Coltrane started to experiment with the free jazz stuff, and I think that's why I tend to like those years a little bit better. Here's Crescent. And I'll kind of pick out a few of my favorites as we kind of go along. Actually, this is one of them. New Thing at Newport with Archie Shepp. Definitely kind of a good mixture with free jazz and traditional jazz within this album. But you know, Archie Shepp was a monster too. Coltrane, The Last Train. Another very good album there. Love that cover. Now you definitely start getting into some of my favorites. This is the John Coltrane Quartet Plays, although I always refer to this album as Chim Chim. Very nice copy of that. And of course the masterpiece. This, without question, is my favorite John Coltrane album. This is A Love Supreme from 1965, I believe. This right here, this is actually the first jazz album I ever bought. Again, before I was ever into jazz, when I first started collecting vinyl, I was walking through a store one day and the guy was just playing this, and I was like, I know nothing about jazz, I have no idea who that is, but that stuff sounds good. he pulled the record up and said, this is who it is, and I think I paid $12 for it. Wish it was in a little bit better condition. You can see it has a lot of ring wear there, but it is the stereo A77 pressing, and the vinyl itself is in really good condition on the green Impulse label. So if this thing was in 100% mint condition with the cover and everything, you know, it'd be about $125, $150. But as you can see, the cover is kind of rough with the ring wear and stuff. But again, I paid $12 for it, and it was the first jazz album I ever bought, and without question, my favorite jazz album of all time. And so I did pick up a reissue of it as well. The only Coltrane vinyl I have more than one copy of. Like I said, that's my favorite. Sunship was definitely kind of a good play off of Love Supreme, so if you do check out Love Supreme, you'll definitely like this one as well. And I think Love Supreme was just, I don't know, I think it was a little more, it was one of his more groovy albums, as well as one of his more spiritual albums to me. So I think those two elements of what I feel Coltrane is came out the most in Love Supreme. But again, Sunship is a good play after Love Supreme. And then you have Live in Paris Volume 2. I do still need Volume 1 of this, so hopefully I'll find one of those soon. Then you have Coltrane Aya. And this is not too bad either. This is definitely one of his, it's decent, I'll put it that way. It's definitely worth a listen. It's a good album. And this is where we started getting into the stuff that I really love by Coltrane, like Ascension. I think it's basically 2 songs on this album. 2 or 3. I think it's only 2. Like 1 per side. Yeah, it's basically like a part one. Yeah, right? Okay, yeah. Sorry. So yeah, basically two songs, and more or less what this was is this was just Coltrane and about 10 other artists, which I believe Archie Shepp was one of them. Um, yeah, Elvin Jones, Art Davis, Archie Shepp, uh, Dewey Johnson, McCoy Tyner, and just like I said, about 10 of them just basically went in and jammed. I mean, a total free jazz jam where they were just everybody kind of playing their own thing, but yet making it all come together. Um, and this is the kind of stuff you typically find people either love or hate when we start getting into that free jazz realm. But these are my favorite years of Coltrane. Is that impulse free jazz time period, and this is definitely probably my second favorite free jazz album by him. Maybe my first actually. I mean, it's kind of in competition with one of the next I'm going to show. But very very good stuff, and definitely like I said, my favorite years of Coltrane. It's interesting too because as awesome as I think that stuff is, the more I've kind of read about it, those were actually the years that well, I should say not the years, but Coltrane caught quite a bit of flack for kind of those free jazz years because it just wasn't the stuff that I guess most people were digging at the time. They wanted the traditional, more my favorite things type of stuff. So I'm glad he kept pushing through it though. Again, that's kind of my favorite stuff by him. Coltrane Plays for Lovers. Again, this is more traditional type stuff there. Coltrane Sounds. And this is Coltrane and Don Cherry. Don Cherry, another artist I need to start picking up stuff by. But this is the Avant-Garde. And again, this is kind of, a little more on the experimental side. Coltrane live at the Village Vanguard again. This is a very good live performance. Again, kind of on the free jazz side of things. Love this cover on this one. Probably one of my favorite Coltrane covers. Puissa Mamas. More great stuff there. And probably right there with Ascension, this is my favorite free jazz album by Coltrane, which is Interstellar Space. Very nice piece. This is it's just him and what's the guy's? Is it Ali? I've played with so many people, I always get this stuff kind of confused. I have to go back inside and look. What was? Yeah, Ali, Rashid Ali. It's just basically the two of them, Coltrane with his tenor sax and Ali on his drums, and it's really cool because it's in stereo as well. So it's a very very distinct. Coltrane's over here, actually other way around. Coltrane is in the left side with his sax, and Ali is in the right with his drums, and it's just with only those two artists, it's just so very distinct with the stereo sound, and it's really kind of neat. They're just in there, just playing off each other. It's really really cool stuff. But again, definitely probably my favorite free jazz record by him, along with Ascension. Then you have Coltrane Legacy. The African Brass, Volume 2. I still need to get the African Brass, the first volume of this, but that's Volume 2. Found this one at a thrift shop for only $2 actually, which was kind of nice. But this is Coltrane Black Pearls. I need to go back and listen to this. I haven't spun this one in a while. I kind of actually forgot what lines this one is on. Been listening to so much of them. I said I haven't spun this one in a while, so. And this is kind of a greatest hits. His greatest years, Volume 2, I think. Volume 3, I'm sorry. And then you have Coltrane. This is with Red Garland. He's featured on this one. And the last, as far as what I have on vinyl, this is Reflections, Volume 2. So I definitely still need to get Volume 1 of this as well. But that's what I have as far as vinyl. You know, and the amazing thing too, when you really think about it, I mean, I don't have anywhere near all of Coltrane's stuff. I mean, he has so many different things, especially when you look at collaborations and everything. So much stuff out there. It's still so hard to believe that he died at, what, age 40, I believe? I mean, to do the body of work that he's done over that short time period, it's just, I mean, it's pretty magnificent. But anyway, let me just kind of go through and show some CDs, a lot of which will be repeats from the vinyl there, but I'll just kind of show them real quick, since I'm showing my entire Coltrane collection here. You got CD there of just Coltrane, and you got the card. Soul Train. Here's one that I didn't have on vinyl yet, Thelonious Monk with Coltrane. Also need this one on vinyl, Setting the Pace. And there's the Burrell. Then you got Coltrane and or Cannonball Adderley and Coltrane. That's a pretty good album too. Then there's Giant Steps. And of course my favorite things. Sorry, trying to get the light right there. Another one I need on vinyl. Bags and Train. This is Milt Jackson and John Coltrane. This is one that really kind of grew on me too. I did not like this the first time I heard it, but the more I listen to it, it definitely keeps getting better and better. Exact same with this one here, Coltrane Plays the Blues, which I also need on vinyl. So good stuff there. Next here we got ballads again, and these are all the digipacks from the collection sets. There's ballads, In a Sentimental Mood, him with Duke Ellington. There's Coltrane. Another one I don't have on vinyl, Coltrane Live at the Vanguard. This is the first one, where the other one was Vanguard again, kind of like the part 2. And then here's the African Brass that I also need to get on vinyl. That's a really good album as well. And then, let's see. Then we also have, I'm sorry, I got that backwards. Love Supreme, Crescent, Live at Birdland, Impressions, and Johnny Hartman, Coltrane and Johnny Hartman. This is probably, as of right now, as I mentioned before, probably my least favorite Coltrane album. This is definitely more on the lines of a Nat King Cole type of thing, with Coltrane doing the, you know, playing in the background or whatever. So still a decent album, but if I had to pick probably my least favorite Coltrane album, that would probably be it. So let me flip this over really quick. We'll go to side 2 of Coltrane. Let's see. And then, sorry, get these out of here. Last but not least, no, I'm sorry, actually, well, the box sets. And this again is going back to my favorite era of Coltrane. Got Kula again, so I showed on vinyl a moment ago. Meditations, definitely want this one on vinyl. This is an awesome album as well. And again, we're kind of in that free jazz realm here. Ascensions, New Thing at Newport, and Chim Chim. So that's definitely my favorite Coltrane era right there. Then we finish it out with Dear Old Stockholm. Another great one I just heard for the first time this past week, Newport 63. This is a fantastic album right here. then Love Supreme, and then another digipack version with the trifold. Yeah, so I have a few copies of Love Supreme. Like I said, that's my favorite album by him. So Expressions, another fantastic album. Again, on those free jazz lines during those impulse free jazz years that I love so much. And then you have Interstellar Space again, as well as another one I would really love to have on vinyl, Stellar Regions. But this one can cost a pretty penny sometimes. Another great one there. And then last but not least, John Coltrane Live at the Half Note. Again, a live free jazz performance. So very, very good stuff. So, sorry guys, the light keeps adjusting when I put stuff close to the camera. That's the video I've been promising, my Coltrane collection. Again, if you have anything, cassettes, CDs, or LPs, Coltrane, that you're open to selling, trading, that type of thing, let me know, because I'm definitely still working on this collection. And as much stuff as I've been able to get so far, still knowing I'm not even close to having half of all of his stuff, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, great jazz artist. No matter what style you like, somewhere up and down the line, you'll definitely find a piece of Coltrane somewhere that you'll certainly love. So let me know, blah blah blah. Let me know if you have any questions. And as always, VC, thanks for checking things out. Hope you guys kind of noticed my friend's shirt too. You know, I talked about that in a few videos a little while ago, so I thought I'd wear it for you today. I was really surprised that so many people almost seemed shocked that I liked the show as much as maybe I kind of expressed or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think Friends is one of. I need to do that sometime too. I'm going to show you guys my collection of sitcoms that I have, because there are a number of sitcoms that I'm just absolutely crazy about, and I just like I do with vinyl and everything else over the years. I've got entire I cannot talk for anything this afternoon. Entire series collections, and Friends is one of the ones where I have the entire series on collection. There's a few others I'll probably share sometime, give you a little kind of insight on other things that Mr. Hall of Fame is into besides just vinyl and music. But anyway, thanks for checking it out, VC, as always, and we will talk to you guys soon. All right, take care, guys.